So Kyrie is hurt. That's not good. We hope the best for him, James Harden as well. And I mean, look, people thought the series was going to be competitive, assuming the Nets would be totally healthy. I mean, my prediction was Nets in six. So this gets a lot more interesting. I mean, Kevin Durant is going to have to go on a one-man show if he's not going to have his two other guys with him. And we assume that KD is talented enough to do that. I mean, he had, 16 points in the third quarter, whatever it is. But it just gives the Bucks more freedom to load up on him and dare Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, Blake Griffin, Mike James, Joe Harris. You'll cover Joe Harris, but the rest of these guys are going to have to make shots. They're going to have to cut. They're going to have to attack the offensive glass, and they're going to have some great defense to deal with this on the Bucks. And I mean, it's possible the Nets can still win the series without those two, but it's going to be really, really difficult. I mean, you think about the offense the Nets can run. You could do some off-ball Joe Harris stuff. You can try some off-ball KD stuff on top of just KD ISOs, post-ups, pick and rolls, of course. You can try to go at the mismatch, which I guess is just Brook Lopez at this point. And I mean, they've been doing that this whole series, but you might have to really, really lean into it now. But again, without Kyrie and Harden, if those two are not playing, it's not a certainty just yet, but if those two are not going to be out there, then again, like those other guys are going to have to do stuff because it's going to be so much attention on Kevin Durant. And someone else is going to have a big game. I don't know who it is. Maybe it's Jeff Green making 5 threes, or Bruce Brown having another game where he goes crazy with floaters, or Blake Griffin turning back the clock a bit. It's got to be something. And even so, you still have to do it on defense. And I mean, to be fair, Kyrie and Harden, not the best defensive players, but they bought in. And Harden, he's gotten better. And Kyrie, when he's locked in, is cool. So that's going to be tough. I mean, to think about the Bucks offense, I think this was probably the best the Bucks offense has looked since the Heat series. I mean, some of it was that the shots just went in a bit more in this game. You know, PJ Tucker got his to go, and Chris Middleton made some more contested threes. Giannis still took a couple of bad ones, but there was also like some cut plays. You know, we had Giannis catching an alley-oop. We had a play where Giannis cut when Drew was in an ISO. We still had our Giannis setting screen plays. We also had Middleton getting a screen. I think it was from Lopez. It might have been from Giannis, and then he threw that pass to PJ Tucker in the corner. That was really good. We had Pat Connaughton going like 2 for 4, 2 for 5 from 3, whatever that was. Some of those were off of Giannis drives. It also seemed like Giannis did a little better of a job of getting the right angle on Blake Griffin or Jeff Green or whoever to where he could still do whatever he wanted at the rim, so those guys might have to step up a little bit higher on him for the next game. And they're probably just going to have to dare Giannis to be a passer. I mean, if we think about how the Bucks offense was really bad, especially in Game 2, a lot of it was the Bucks kind of screwing themselves, in my opinion. I mean, the Nets defense, they did a good job of loading up on the paint, but it was also like the Bucks didn't really have a plan, and they have had a plan in the last couple of games outside of Giannis shooting bad threes. So again, it's going to be tough, and they're going to need to throw something weird at the Bucks, in my opinion, whether it's like double teams on Giannis when he's around the free throw line trying to size up his defender. Even then, you can't just come from the corner because then it's an obvious pass. So it does get tough, and we did see some Giannis at center in this game. So we could see that a little bit more. And that takes one obvious thing for KD off the floor, which is going at Brook Lopez on the screens. Although, to be fair, that would then mean like Pat Connaughton or Bryn Forbes is probably on the court, so then KD can go at that guy, and we'll have to see if the Bucks would just give him those mismatches. One thing the Nets do have in their favor is they're going back to Brooklyn, and while I would like to think that home court should not matter this much, it seems like it really does make a difference to these teams for some reason. I mean, in Game 2, the Bucks had no idea what they were doing, and then in Game 3, they started out really well, and the Nets started out Game 3 pretty bad. They just weren't making any shots. So they'll have Brooklyn going for them. But yeah, man, this is going to be tough if Kyrie and Harden are not going to be out there. We would hope that they don't do an AD and put them out there when they clearly should not be there. But just to think about the template for the Nets, I mean, they're going to have to really win the possessions battle. I mean, attacking the offensive glass, not giving up offensive rebounds themselves, not turning the ball over, not committing stupid fouls, throwing extra defenders at Giannis, but doing it in a way that doesn't just leave good shooters wide open. I mean, you're going to give up some three-point attempts, but hopefully it's a closeout and it's not like Chris Middleton having a few seconds of space. And amongst all these role players, someone's going to have to go nuts. I mean, you look at Joe Harris as the first guy, and I mean, he's had an up and down series so far, and if he was going to have like a 5 for 7 3-point shooting game, it would be the perfect time for it to happen because KD's going to need all the shot making help he can get.